Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, 2019, so, it's been a long stretch without the playoffs. We've had some rough years, but we've been building back towards this and getting back to, a championship caliber team. And, I think that's what we got in this room. So, the boys, we just got together, kind of just saw everyone. So, I think everyone's excited and, a lot of guys, first time in the playoffs, so they're real fired up.
You're part of those championship teams, and it's been a long time for you to get back to this point. What does it mean for you, Ryan, Matt Hossick, Mike Messenger, the guys who have been here the last 6 years to finally get back to playoff lacrosse?
Yeah, it's just the start. It's just round one, so we got a long way to go to get to the championship. But that's the goal, and it's the goal of everyone, even the guys who haven't been there. So, everyone kind of knows what it takes, and it's a grind, and starts the one-game series tomorrow night.
What do you remember the most about those atmospheres and just the intensity of those playoff games, even going back to 2019?
Yeah, I mean, the building was electric. So, it'll be nice if we get to that point. I think we got a long way to go, but it's a big boost for us when the building's full and you get that extra support behind you. So, we feed off it regardless, but obviously the more the better.
Just with the first game, because that first round with it being just one and done, where afterwards it's best of three. I guess how different is it if you set your situation where it's one and done compared to best of three?
I think we played really well with our backs against the wall. We kind of try and put some pressure on ourselves, and that's all this is. It's one game, and we've said it all year. We have to play 60 minutes, and there's no better test than tomorrow night.
Austin, this team brought you in to try and get to this point and to see where you still have a lot of work to do to try and win a championship here, but for this milestone to be completed from what you guys had set out in training camp, how gratifying is that for this group?
It is gratifying, but the job's not done. We made it, but let's make it count. We want to host a trophy. We don't want to just make the playoffs. We want to host that trophy at the end of the year.
What's it going to take for this group to keep that consistency that we've seen over the course of the season here, especially, like Darren said, when you boil it down to 4 quarters, it's really going to make or break whether you guys are heading to the semis or packing up your bags for the year?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, is playing 60 minutes. We do it with our feet and, playing every game, but it's mentally being there for 60 minutes, shift in, shift out, making everything count. Every loose ball, every stop, it goes on to the fourth quarter when you try and win the game. So we just need to bring it for 60 minutes and play our game.
How is this team really trying to peek into the playoffs here, just based on what you guys are able to do over the last couple of games of the regular season and pull out the wins that you guys were able to do?
It's a lot of hard work and 60 minutes, but it's also having fun. You can't go in there squeezing your stick. So we have a lot of fun at this group, and we joke around and we goof around, but it's being focused and mentally ready, but also not being too tense. Just enjoy the moment and make it count.
Oh, Austin, I think I was looking at some of the old stats and I realized 2018 was your rookie year. You were on Rochester.
Yeah.
I was just
in this building.
Like, oh my God, I think he was on.
Yeah, my rookie year, we lost the Game 3 final here to Churchy.
Yeah, I was just wondering, what are your memories of that? And 8 years later, what's it like now? You think back to that being with the Rush now.
It's been eating at me for 8 years. I got to taste my rookie year, and I didn't get that trophy. So I've been playing to win championships. That's all I want to do, and to have a chance to do that again is cool. But there's, like Churchy said, there's a lot of work to do. This is just round one.
Robert, there's a lot of guys in this locker room where this is going to be their first taste of playoff lacrosse here at the professional level. Has there been any sort of conversations or messaging in the locker room from the leadership group about what those players can expect going into tomorrow's game?
Not really. I'm sure that'll happen kind of today and tomorrow leading up to the game. But, the goal all along was just to get to this point. We weren't looking too far ahead and past last week's game. So, we don't spend too much time together. So last game ends, we're on to the next. But I think the messaging will definitely be, you can't take it for granted. I got there a lot when I was young, and it's been 6 years, and it's, that's all I wanted is to get back there and, take advantage of the moment you got.
You guys have been overall a really strong defensive team, and I think the game against Georgia this year probably was a great example of that, winning it single digits and an 8-7 score. What do you guys take from that game as far as preparation for playoffs or just overall, the season and some of the, with the ups and downs or some of the close games or maybe the comebacks early when you're a little bit caught off the start or something like that?
It's good. We played them once, so it's nice playing a team that you've already played. But that just shows that we never give up. Like, we did have a lot of comeback wins in the start of the year, and it shows how good our defense is, and our goalies are always going to be there down the stretch. This is going to be a 60-minute game, and we're going to have to bring it all, but we've played them before. We were missing Church that game, and I know I was in a bit of a lull at that game, and it wasn't our best game in offense, that's for sure, and we came out with the win. So, the offense has been rolling really well. Skiggs has been awesome, and our defense has been the heart of this team all year. So I think we're ready for this game, and we'll come out with a win.
Robert, the last couple of years, the Achilles heel of this team has been those tight 1-2 maybe goal games where a couple of those go your way, you might be sitting in the playoffs, last year, the year before. What has been different about this year and the team's ability to execute those clutch moments?
Yeah, obviously the defense is the backbone of our team, and Frank having the goaltender of the year quality season that he has is huge. I think you look at the pieces we added. Hasek, he's a shutdown defender over there. We added Austin. We got some much needed righty scoring that we've been lacking over the last few years. So, when you look at losing all those 1-goal games, adding two pieces like that is kind of all you need. It's kind of put us over the edge, and I don't think we've been in too many real 1-goal games like we were last year, which, it's a lot less stressful when you can win by a few. I guess in another way we've kind of lost a few that way, but yeah, I think the experience though is huge too, because most of the guys in this locker room were there last year and felt the heartbreak, and same thing earlier in the year, winning those 2 games back to back in overtime is massive, and I think that'll still carry weight going forward.
Being the number 2 ranked team going into the playoffs and going into this game against Georgia, do you guys feel a target on your back at all from the other teams around the league, or?
No, I think Buffalo will have the target, as long as they're around with being the back-to-back champs and, the odds-on favorite. But, I think you can throw the seeds out the window when you get into playoffs. All 8 teams are capable of winning it. And I think the biggest thing is just clinching that home game, because that's really the only one-up you got on them right now.
Actually, that was going to be my question, is the advantage of having all the games at home, except for if you play Buffalo in the final, is that we were kind of talking about, boy, is it even different once they take the ice out? But I have to imagine just being able to play at home, have all the comfort that you have on a game day, as opposed to going to enemy territory and enemy fans, that's got to be an advantage. I know you're not looking into the semis and the final, but that's got to be an advantage to start off playoffs. Yeah,
I'd say just the familiarity of playing here, 9 times compared to going to Georgia once, where, you got our routines, we got our lunch spots, you got everything down pat. I mean, for me, a Western guy, obviously a shorter flight here than to go to Georgia. So, I think it all adds up. But at the end of the day, when the game starts, it's an even playing field, and, we have to do everything we got. And, like Austin said, put 60 minutes together and start fast, because playoffs, and lacrosse is a game of runs, so it's just going to be managing those runs and keeping them limited.